As you blow everyone's eardrums out of their ears.
Try to cram a alien in my microphone. Welcome back to the Cream Spot. I'm your Lord and Savior, the delicious Nicolicious. I'm here with my friend
Rob Dog, what's up, guys?
He's on a budget microphone.
I am.
Because for our second straight episode,
I forgot my mic at the house.
he's taking his equipment home and he's forgotten to bring it back.
Yeah.
So he's using a AliExpress eBay special. It's a good microphone.
Yeah, it'll work.
It will work. He just may sound stupid for most of this episode.
No different.
I'm going to sound stupid for the entire episode. We're doing gay conversion therapy, for God fucking sake.
It's a fitting episode for us, just like I said earlier, whenever you recommended it.
Told him, I said, what do you think about gay conversion therapy? He said, I'm not fucking going, bro. I love what we do. And I said, no.
Do I gotta take the dick out of my mouth?
I said, we're going to talk about it on the podcast, Rob. And then he said, yeah, that's fine. Just as long as I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to take my pants off.
Yeah, or
So-
put them on.
Promised him bratwursts. If
It was delivered too.
we're not going to talk a whole lot about what's going on in the world. We're going to talk a little bit here in the beginning. But as far as this podcast, this is going to be your escape from everything going on in the world. If you want to hear us talk about the C word, we did a bro talk for 20 minutes. Go check it out. You can go to patreon.com/Brohio podcast. We'll make that to everyone $1 and up. You can listen to that. For this episode, we're talking about gay. Hold on a second.
Okay, I'm waiting.
We're going to talk about gay. Can you say it, please? Can you say it, tell them what we're talking about?
No. Gay aversion therapy.
Gay I think it's actually, let's change the name of this. It's actually, okay, it's gay aversion therapy or conversion therapy.
Okay.
There are two different names.
That's
for it.
kind of what I thought it was too.
And I was about to change the name to gay conversion, which means you'd be trying to make someone
Trying to
gay.
make someone. Yeah.
That's fine. That works for me. Whatever. But let's start off with our Patreon's pledges from this week. Tell them about that first one, Rob.
That first one, it's our good buddy Hunter. Murder and Such. Thank you, good sir.
Now, Hunter, he does a podcast called Murder and Such. He's also based out of Dayton, Ohio. And here it comes. I got a fucking phone call from my kid's school district.
Shutting down the rest of the year.
See how bad it is. And I'm putting them to voicemail. I don't care.
Okay.
Don't interrupt me when I'm here with this guy.
It's game time.
He means a lot to me, and for them to fucking disrespect me and call me like that when they know I'm doing this shit, fuck you.
Do they know who we are?
They know whenever, although we had the father-daughter dance, and I went, and some guy's like, I know you from somewhere, and I didn't think about the podcast at all.
Yeah. You were thinking prison.
Exactly. That's what I always think when people
same
say,
thing. Yep.
I know you from somewhere.
Yep.
And I'm like, have you ever seen my face behind a nightstick before? And he's like, the podcast. And I said, what podcast? Serious as a fucking heart attack. And he was like, oh, never mind. And then he called me later on in the night. He's like, you're Nick from the podcast. Yeah, you got me, dude. And he started talking to me. And it felt really good because my daughter was there. And I was like, I appreciate you, buddy, but I'm spending the night with this little girl right here. You can hit me up anytime you want. I kind of feel a little bit bad.
Right.
But she was so over the moon that I was like, I enjoy you saying hello, and I'm thankful for you, but I'm spending time with this sweet little princess right here. She felt like she was just fucking King Dingling right there. Like she was King Kong on steroids.
I'm sure anybody would have understood anyways.
Hey, he did.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't listen to that many of them, but I know who you are. So I didn't feel that bad saying, well, get the fuck out of here. It was a good time. But yeah, Murder and Such, they're from the Dayton area as well. He does a fantastic, it's changed over the years, but he does a fantastic true crime podcast.
Yeah. It's really good.
And he's changed his format, and Hunter is a super incredible dude that will give you the time of day, and he's been through a lot in his life, and he'll be happy to tell you his story, and you know, you can lay stuff on him, and he's a good fucking guy.
Yeah,
he's a lot better than us.
Oh, definitely.
We are just pieces of fucking garbage.
Trailer trash.
He seems like the kind of guy that if you called him and you needed a shirt, he would be like, I don't have a shirt, but I'll give you a hand job. Right?
That's pretty astute. Yeah.
Next on the list is Zoe Curran. Thank you, Zoe Curran.
Jason Knotts.
As in balloon knots. As
you go.
in buttholes. Next we have Andrea Stoner. That seems like a low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
So I'm not even going to try and touch that one. But if you would like to join us on Patreon, like I said, go to patreon.com/Brohio Podcast. I just got a voicemail from the school system. And from, well, what we said. We weren't going to talk about the C word.
Yeah.
But there's this really fucking weird thing going around the internet. I subscribe to a lot of conspiracy groups on Facebook, and it keeps on getting posted there.
Right.
And I keep on reading this. This is the most far-fetched, stupid shit.
I was gonna say I don't think there's any truth to any of it, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, read it to him. Tell him it's so weird. If this shit takes Tom Hanks away from me, I'll burn China to the fucking ground by myself. They can't listen to our podcast there.
Yeah.
But I'll take China away.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
So it says, yesterday morning at 4:30 a.m., Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was served a criminal indictment by the U.S. for corporate and financial crimes. Media owners were instructed to brainwash everyone that Trudeau and his wife that he has the coronavirus, that they have the coronavirus, and that they won't be leaving their house for a while.
And this is all speculative internet made up stuff. These are not official news reports.
Right. These are what people are pretty much saying is like alternate theories.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tom Hanks was arrested a little over 48 hours ago for pedophilia, and he is currently being kept in a hotel room in Australia, refusing to fly back to the U.S. The next celebrity arrest will be Celine Dion, Madonna, Charles Barkley, and Kevin Spacey.
That's terrible, man.
All will claim coronavirus infections.
Oh.
Italy airports have been completely shut down as over 80 Vatican and financial officials have been served the same criminal indictment for financial crime, pedophilia, child trafficking, and sex abuse. What is United? What's this word? I've never...
Emiratis or I don't know. It's
I always see it, but I never know how to pronounce it. Okay. They have completed mass arrests of their own royal family and affiliates. Convicted Hollywood rapist Harvey Weinstein agreed to a deal in exchange for his testimony against hundreds of top Hollywood celebrities and their involvement in the drug business, pedophilia, and child trafficking. Instead of a 55-year sentence, he only received a 23-year sentence. In exchange, he provided testimonies against some of the biggest and most powerful names, including Prince Andrew of UK, former President Bill Clinton, former Vice President Joe Biden, Tom Hanks, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres.
No, not Ellen.
Quentin Tarantino, Charlie Sheen, Bob Saget, Kevin Spacey, John Travolta, Steven Spielberg, Podesta, whatever the fuck this is, NXIVM.
Is that like I don't know who that is.
I don't know. It sounds like some edgy metal band.
Yeah.
And Pizzagate, sex trafficking clubs, and hundreds more who were all directly involved with Jeff Epstein.
Oh, there, Jeff.
So, Jeffrey Epstein was similarly allowed to make a deal and have his suicide in prison faked in exchange for his testimony. CEOs of some major world corporations have been indicted, arrested, and some have been forced to resign, all in the last 30 to 60 days, such as the CEOs of the NBA, Harley-Davidson, the Bill Gates Foundation, Intel, McDonald's, Caesar Awards, whatever the fuck that is.
Pizza.
That's exactly what I thought. And Disney, the Vatican chief of police, etc. Approximately 700 to 800 more resignations are coming in the next 3 months. The lab-created coronavirus was a cover-up for the mass mandatory vaccination agenda. Now it has become the biggest covert U.S. intelligence operation that the world has ever seen. This mass 158,000 arrest operation will remove and capture the biggest evil and corrupted politicians, celebrities, and CEOs, including global elites and bankers such as George Soros, UN officials, and the founder of Greta Inc. Don't know what that is either. Let's see here. President Trump will win the 2020 elections. I am reading this. This is not a prediction by me. President Trump will win the 2020 elections, and arrests of former U.S. presidents will occur early in 2021. All major arrests will be portrayed by the media as accidental or as conspiracy theories. All arrested individuals will be given Rommel death. That's where Justin Rimmel sits on your face.
Oh, that's how I want to
Sign me
die.
up. Meaning that they will have a choice between their death being portrayed to the public as a suicide or an accidental death in return for assurances that his or her reputation will remain intact, or alternatively, they can choose to face a criminal trial that would result in public disgrace.
You mean there's a way I can get him to sit on my face? He had a mustache for 3 days this week.
I saw that. It was beautiful.
Never wanted to rail a man so bad in my life.
I know. Oh, man. Some top of religious leaders will be arrested or forced to resign, and some will suddenly get sick. The Vatican will be the first, and the Pope will be removed in 2020. Production of human extracted adrenochrome
There you go.
will be revealed, and Hollywood and the Vatican will be exposed as being directly responsible for that.
That is true.
Coming up, there will be a 2-month complete shutdown of the world's most common operations, such as schools, the stock exchange, some banks, airports, shipping, travel, events, galas, however you want to say it.
We're doing gay aversion therapy.
Okay, so galas,
Galas.
expos, sports, games, sports championships, music award ceremonies, NBA, NHL, baseball games, and ship cruises. There will be food shortages and staged electricity power loss. Gas prices will go down. Food costs will go up. Insurance will go up. Gold and silver stocks will fall. And many corporations will either go bankrupt or take a significant financial loss, such as in the case of what's about to happen to Air Canada, Disney, and Coca-Cola. Welcome to the Great Awakening. What's about to happen this summer and fall will change the world's timeline. All the world's a stage. Anonymous.
Yeah. And that's been circulating on the internet all week long. And some of it is just so far-fetched and crazy to think about. This is replacing our funny news article for the week. But that's so off the wall that I had to put it in there.
Yeah, it's
because
crazy.
we're a conspiracy-based podcast. Even though we don't do... Oh, we do some conspiracies.
Yeah, we don't necessarily buy into any of them, but I mean, it's...
I feel like we just lay here and knuckle fuck each other most of the time.
That's pretty much it.
Speaking of knuckle fucking, a lot of you have been asking about my great-uncle, Grandpa Pork Knuckle.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
He's famous now. He's really been dealing with it pretty well.
Is he letting fame get to his head?
Funny story today. My brother called me, my younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Good old country boy that can make a lawnmower go about 150 miles an hour.
Right.
He said, hey, what are we doing about these Reds tickets? I said, it's postponed. We're not going. I don't know when they're going to reschedule it, but I will keep you in the loop. This guy has no idea what the internet is or fucking anything. He said, I got one of my buddies listening to your podcast at my work. He's about a year younger than me.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, cool, man. He said, yeah. He said, all you do is talk about sucking dad's dick. I said, well, I've never in my life.
That maybe happens 3 or 4 times an episode. That's not all we talk about.
He said, if that's all you're talking about, I'm never going to fucking listen to it. And I said, Rai. His name's Ryan. I still call him Rai like we're 4-year-olds. Rai. It's not like that, buddy. It's just a joke. He sounds like Stacy when she hears bad stuff on you.
Yeah.
She said, why do you say bad stuff like that? I'm like, I'm just a character because, like I said, we're not like this all the time.
No.
We're like this for 2 hours a week.
We're just having fun.
Yeah. Heard you. He said, all you talk about is sucking dad's dick.
Have we ever once said anything about sucking your dad's dick?
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure we have, but
I know we have. And the funny part was, I think he asked me something along the lines like, he didn't ask me, he said, you never did that. Yeah, I know, dude.
that's a mechanic's dick, man.
Yeah,
That
that thing don't get washed. That's not a dick, that's a phallus.
it's a fucking tailpipe.
Oh, man, well, that's so wonderful. So, yeah, Rob and I, we cover a lot of stuff off the beaten path, and I'm proud of that. That we're not the run-of-your-mill, you're getting a Mothman this week, and then the next week you're getting 9/11, and then the next week after that, you're getting the JFK assassination. My wife did get us new JFK Funko Pop, and this episode should be up on YouTube for you video aficionados. I like that we get off the rails and go into different directions sometimes. My wife has doo-doo wipes for you.
Oh, yeah.
Bring them in. We've got a
Thank
poop
you.
shortage. Thank you, sweetheart.
A poop shortage. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what they don't, we've talked about it before. Rob refuses to use toilet paper. He uses wet wipes.
I might take those with me and put them in the truck so when I got to shit at a work site.
Yeah, my wife got the last wet doo-doo wipes.
That's what's up.
But what I'm proud of is we cover a lot of weird stuff that you don't normally hear about. And that's what I think if we weren't like that, we would have a lot less people to listen to us. So this episode, we're going with gay aversion therapy. And one of the most staggering things I read about this, and we're going to cover it later on, is the suicide rate amongst homosexual males. It's staggering and it's sad. And I think it's what I found out. We joke about this. Rob and I joke about everything. Nothing is off limits to us. But the thing is, if you met us in public, we would have nothing but admiration, love, and respect for all of you. Just like when people write us and be like, hey, Nick, hey, fat Nick, dick, Nick the dick, fat fuck. Just read that like, Jesus Christ. I don't think, we get a lot of messages and stuff, and the message will start off like, hey, fuckwad.
Yeah, right.
And my wife answers and takes care of most of the messages, and she's a very protective mama bear. And when she sees a message that comes through that says like, hey, fuckwad, or hey, dick lick, she doesn't even give it the time of day. So just keep that in mind whenever you guys are trying to pass a message along to us that like, hey, shit stain or cum rag. I think one
Eat my pussy.
one I saw last week was cum dumpsters. Hey, you fucking cum dumpsters.
Sounds about right.
I guess. And she's like, what's wrong with this person? I don't know. They listen to us. That's
right.
Beyond that, I'm not giving a diagnosis.
Yeah.
So we're going with gay aversion therapy or conversion therapy. And my heart goes out to those of you that live a lifestyle not like mine. Or your lifestyle is yours. Mine is mine. I've never had persecution and conviction for the things that make me happy. And what makes me happy doesn't necessarily make the next person happy.
Right.
So for those of you that you find love in different places that I find love, we have no problem with that. I would 69 right now for 50,000 with any man, woman, bear.
Yeah.
Well, probably any man or bear. I would not be able to. I would lose everything if it was with a woman. But I think if I had a large lump of cash to show my wife and said I 69 with a bear, she would be okay with it. Or maybe most guys.
Fuck. Sign me up for the 69.
She would be so mad. But I think that I could pass it off with a lot of money. That would make her happy.
Shit, $20 it'll make my wife happy.
I sucked some guy's dick for a counterfeit $20 bill.
Right? Send me a message on Facebook if you're wanting to give me $20. We can make this happen. I know a lot of dark alleys here in Dayton.
What Rob does need, our P.O. Box is P.O. Box 672, Vandalia, Ohio, 45377. Please send us an iPhone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine's pretty much fucked.
I can't talk to Rob on the phone anymore because his phone doesn't work.
Yeah. For some reason, it only works if I have my Bluetooth headphones hooked up. Well, connected to it. I can't even put it on speakerphone anymore. My fucking camera, it's falling out of the mounting unit inside, so it just does this. You can't see it, but I'm shaking my phone.
Yeah.
Unless I smack it real hard, and then every now and then it'll stay in place.
So what I need you to do is if you have a really fancy iPhone, I need you to go back a couple generations and hop back on that one and then send Rob your new iPhone.
Yeah. 7 or later.
Yes, please.
Verizon. Thank you.
I hope it works. If it works.
Wipe it, because I don't want to see pictures of your asshole.
Unless
you have a really attractive asshole, then you can make it the home screen.
I'm going to dress up like an angel and bring it to your house if it works.
Just like Jesus.
Rob has a balcony outside of his window, and I'm going to climb the balcony and come in that way. It's going to completely catch everybody off guard.
It's never locked, so you're good.
So, I just want to get that out of the way. We are completely cool with whatever you got going on. Beyond, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't know why people make it do matter. And that's why this research is so upsetting for me, to see the persecution that people go through for just the way they are, for who they want to love.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not your fucking job.
It doesn't fucking concern you. I mean,
doesn't concern you.
you think nobody would pick, to go, against the grain so much to where people are going to be tormented over it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You'd want to live a normal, easygoing life if it was just a fucking choice.
See these suicide statistics, and I'm just like, God damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
What a sad fucking way to have to live your life. Not like you're a sad person, but just sad like you can't be what you want to be and do what you want to do without being put in a corner and faced with, you might want to take your own life. And it's sad to me. It's very sad to me.
It is sad, especially to even like think about it now. And this is like the most open time and accepting people have ever been in history.
It is, and
about
they're still not
sexuality,
accepted
and
all
it's
the way.
it's still not acceptable.
Yeah, man, we've come a long way, but we're not all the way there yet.
No,
I hope we can get there. I hope what we have going on right now in the world opens the eyes to everyone to say, just fucking love each other, man. Quit with that hateful bullshit.
It literally does not affect anybody else but those people, those two people that are in love. And why is that wrong?
That's not wrong.
No, mind your own fucking business.
What is wrong is my wife taking a shower right above us right now.
Every week, man.
But I'm gonna truck on through. I'm gonna truck through the sludge. Now, conversion therapy, and I did get the beginning of my research from Wikipedia, so I'm gonna cite them because some of you like to say, "I don't listen to the goddamn eyes and listen to the broadcast, and they use Wikipedia.org, and they're a bunch of stupid fucks." And I'll say, Ted, I've had enough of this shit, buddy. Had enough of you leaving these nasty reviews.
We're going back to Angel Fire.
We're going back to Angel Fire. And if you would like to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would help us out tremendously. So hop on there and do that.
Yeah, because that's the only one that fucking matters.
It is. Conversion therapy is the pseudoscientific practice of trying to change an individual's sexual orientation from homosexual or bisexual to heterosexual using psychological or spiritual interventions. Medical, scientific, and government organizations in the United States and the UK have expressed concern over the validity, efficiency, that's not efficiency.
Efficacy.
Efficacy?
Efficacy?
Fuck it.
Jeez, we're fucking stupid.
And ethics of conversion therapy. The American Psychiatric Association, or the APA, or as I like to call them, what's the name? Bradshaw and Farouk from,
Oh, yeah.
the APA, the tag team. Those are some bad fucking dudes.
I was about to say Nation of Domination.
We are the nation of domination.
That was pre-APA, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. APA was after that.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Damn. Such good shit.
Fuck Bradshaw.
No, yeah, fuck him. I like Ron Simmons, though.
Yeah.
The APA opposes psychiatric treatment, quote, based upon the assumption that homosexuality per se is a mental disorder, or based upon a priori assumption that a patient should change his or her sexual homosexual orientation, and describes attempts to change a person's sexual orientation by practitioners as unethical. Well, yeah, I fucking think so. It also states that the advancement of conversion therapy may cause social harm by disseminating unscientific views about sexual orientation. In 2001, the United States Surgeon General David Satcher issued a report stating that, quote, there is no valid scientific evidence that sexual orientation can be changed. I got a little timeline here, how this stuff kind of fired up from the before Christ days of 1075 BC. The Middle Assyrian Empire's Code of Asura imposes castration on soldiers who engage in same-sex intercourse.
That's crazy.
You're out there riding your Trojan horses through the fucking desert. You're lonely. You're tired.
My bad.
You haven't ejaculated in fucking years.
Rough.
And old, what's his name? Samson the Sand Warrior walks up. He's got his gold-plated armor on. He's sweating real good. Got the fucking overgrown, black, just beautiful beard. And he just looks at you and he says, and you know what that means. You know he wants to nut in your butt.
Jesus.
He wants to break your butt pussy in half. So you let him do it. And the Syrian Empire, they find out and they they castrate you, which means they
It's fucking crazy.
cut your dick off.
Joe Rogan has a really good joke about this in one of his stand-up specials. He says he's talking about how people like, especially like guys, are like so against like homosexual males, like stereotypically, you know. And he says there's only one of two reasons: one, you're completely fucking stupid and ignorant, or two, you secretly secretly afraid that dick tastes delicious.
Oh,
it's the
man.
latter.
It for sure is. It's whatever. In 390 AD, Christian emperors criminalized homosexual sex with public burning as the punishment. In the year 654, the Visigoths in southwestern Europe criminalized sodomy, making it punishable by castration, the first such law on the continent. Then we flash forward to 1179. The Third Lateran Council of Rome decrees that sodomy is punishable by excommunication.
Oh no.
Oh no, take it all away from me. 1533, anal intercourse is made punishable by death.
Is this even between a man and a woman? Is this all anal, or is it male on male? Woman on woman? How does that happen?
See, here's the problem. I'm not really sure what you mean when you say anal, so you're probably going to have to demonstrate this for me a little bit. But I think it's all, like in the Bible, it talks about sodomy, which isn't just, I think sodomy is...
If you can kill me for fucking my wife's asshole, then you better go ahead and kill me.
Yeah.
That's a door I'm going to open whenever I can.
Take it away, take it away, take it away now. Yeah, but in 1533, it was made punishable by death in England. He's like, I'd really like to fuck you in the butt right now, but I don't feel like getting killed. That's how that goes down. In 1610, Virginia makes, yes, the state of Virginia, makes sodomy punishable by death, the first of many such laws in the American colonies. How would you like to walk in that straw hut right there? You think people stunk back then? Imagine what their butt sex smelled like.
Oh my God. I bet you their asses were way hairier too. So you had to part the hair to find the
They
asshole.
didn't have Charmin. They had a real toilet paper crisis on their hands.
Sorry, honey, I was reaching for your butthole, but my dick got tangled up in your dingleberries.
Burberries.
You're just fucking a hemorrhoid for an hour.
Oh, God. Can you help me put that thing back in there? That's so nasty. Oh. That's the worst. I remember one time these people I didn't even know were talking about, where was it at? It was at work. It was just people I didn't know that worked for the other side of the building. And they were talking about toothbrushes. And they were like, the toothbrush is for getting your gums and teeth only. You got to have this water pick thing to get in between your gums. And they're talking about all the different things they use to brush their teeth. And I brush my teeth and I hit it with some Listerine is what I do in the mornings. And I just, out of the corner of my mouth, I was like, toothbrushes are for pushing your hemorrhoids back up inside of you.
Oh, God.
Because I thought one guy over there was someone that I'm constantly talking shit to. It was just just another guy that looked like him that was not him, and none of them knew me. And they both looked like there was 3 or 4 of them, and they all looked over at me. And one guy looked like he was going to seriously fucking vomit. I think he had the dry heaves for a moment.
That's so good.
And if you've ever used a toothbrush to put your hemorrhoid back inside of you, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com, just to let us know that I'm not the only one fishing out of that boat, because I've been through some real life shit, and I've had to do it before.
I would expect it makes your leg kick like a dog when you get the sweet spot.
It's like when I'm scratching Bruce right at the small of his back where it meets his tail.
Yeah.
And he just starts like trying to lick the moon.
Lick the moon, that's so good.
Oh, he's a good dog, Bruce. In 1899, this is where all the modern day stuff kind of takes off. There was a German psychiatrist in 1899 in Nazi Germany.
That was his name.
Wonderful. Psychiatrist named Albert von Schrench-Notzing. It's hyphenated. He was an advocate of hypnosis and other alternative medicine. He believed in the therapeutic qualities of hypnosis, and he was also a student of parapsychology, which is what all the scientists were in Ghostbusters. Parapsychology is a really intriguing topic for me. There's so much cool stuff there, and whether it be the men that stare at goats, the stuff like this, they're just always such taboo topics associated with the likes of parapsychology. And then you got the ghosts and shit like that to go along with it, which is always super fucking cool. He told the first International Congress of Hypnotism that it took him 45 hypnosis sessions over 4 months to cure a gay patient of his homosexuality. He was cured. There was also several trips to the brothel that were involved during these 45 hypnosis.
See, this is a vagina. You feel how warm and wet it is?
I feel like the brothel is probably attempting to. I don't know, this is stereotypical, but most of the homosexual males that I'm associated with and that I'm friends with are the cleanest fucking dudes that I know.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to convert one of them, I'm going to take him to IKEA or something, someplace really clean, and just sit on this couch with me, buddy.
Right.
Sit down. I want to talk to you about some stuff. The first thing I'd say is, I'm not going to try and convert you until I try you. I want to taste you.
Jeez.
I want to taste your essence. But I'm not going to take him to a brothel because he would be like, this is fucking disgusting. Get me the fuck out of here. And I'm like, all right, sorry. Sorry I brought you to a brothel. This is where cowboys fucking do it. If it's not good enough for you, then it's definitely not good enough for a cowboy. So let's get out of here. And I'm not going to say any of my friends' names that are homosexuals because that would be really sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Diamond them out. There was, at the time, homosexuality was actually a crime in Germany. And it's much like some of the other things we talked about from the earlier years where you could be put to death or castrated altogether. But in Germany at the time, it was actually a crime to be known as a homosexual. Which I can fucking begin to. What if they're the ones that are right and we're the ones that are wrong? And all because of the Bible is what says this is the way it should be. You know, what if gay people are the ones that are right and we're the ones living in sin? Or we're the ones that are wrong?
I don't know.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know it feels good to me. And it is.
Getting a hemorrhoid pushed in with the toothbrush.
Taking my toothbrush. Sometimes I wrap the toothbrush in bacon before I do it.
Oh, man.
Get some candied bacon.
Sign me up.
Why have we not? We should have a line of candied bacon named after us. I think it would work. Also, I've
Shove it in my pork hole.
getting some really good interest rates for Ohio World. Right now, the stock market's crashed.
Oh, man.
So
now's the time to get it. I mean,
in a prior episode, we talked about Ohio World.
yeah.
Front half would be for entertaining your family, and in the back, there would just be a butt hanging out of the wall, and you can fuck it.
Or crawl in it, whatever you want to do.
And
Butts of varying sizes.
no, it's going to be our butts. But,
Okay.
and we talked about this a few episodes ago, but there would be like the handles from inside a van above these butts, so you could really get into them. And then I had one other
our
idea.
asses. just sticking out of the wall.
Our butts.
With balls hanging out underneath them.
But we would get them mixed up. You're taller than me, so then when I would be in your hole, my feet wouldn't touch the ground.
Should be dangling like little kids off of a chair.
Yeah, just like that.
Like, oh.
And I was thinking, if you walk past these butts and you don't fuck them, they just blow a little fart. Like, you know, you're walking down the lightsaber aisle at Target. You walk past the Star Wars toys and it's like... You walk past our butts and you don't do anything with it. It's like... just blows one on you.
It's like the one...
Just a hot chocolate kiss.
the one skit that Ed Bassmaster does, where he's just like...
Yeah.
You're talking-
Oh, yeah.
That's just what the asses do.
Yeah. That's what my farts sound like. It sounds like it's like someone trying to blow up a one of those exercise balls. Not like a regular balloon. But more importantly, this kicked off something that is still happening today, which is modern day gay aversion therapy, or conversion therapy. Pseudoscientific techniques that were meant to squash LGBTQ people's sexuality and make them conform to society, which is completely unfair. During the early 1900s, one of the first scientists to work in the area of gay aversion therapy was Eugen Steinek, which I think Eugen is a really cool first name.
That's a masculine name.
If I ever, my wife, we're done. But if I ever find a boy and I keep him.
Yeah, it takes the pussiness out of the name Eugene.
Eugene. No.
Eugen.
Oh, I do like Eugen. Oh, Eugen. Oh, Eugen. Eugen Steinek was under the impression that homosexuality could sometimes be removed through hypnotic suggestion.
Okay.
This guy, Eugen, was a real fucking piece of garbage. This inspired Eugen, who was an endocrinologist, to do testicle transplants.
Oh, jeez.
Testicle transplants? I'm all done with these balls. You want these motherfucking balls?
I'm going to remove the testicles of this gnat and replace it into the sack of a homosexual man.
I'd feel terrible for the man that got my balls. It's like for 3 weeks post-op, and he goes back to the surgeon. Oh, how's everything going for you, buddy? How you doing after the surgery? Not so good, doc. Well, what's wrong? Tell me about it. No matter how hard I scrub these balls, they always smell like shit. It smells like I've just got done playing in the fucking World Cup.
My balls are like 2 soft-boiled eggs that sat in the microwave for like 2 minutes in the side of an old sweat sock.
These balls smell like the hot water at the bottom of a trash can in the middle of summer. Can't fix them.
These nuts look like they've been through the Holocaust.
Looks like someone's been stabbing them with a knife, too.
You just pull my pants down and you just hear,
"Kill me." We went off of them. Oh. So what they would do is they would take the testicles.
can you imagine just being something that just smacks an asshole all day?
There's no good that would come of that.
No.
I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't
man.
think it's a good idea at all. They would, during the process of these transplants, they would take the testicles from a straight man and place them into the bag of a gay man. So they would remove a gay man's testicles, and they would take the testicles from a straight man, put them in the gay man's scrotal.
The thought in this is so funny that they think that it's something that comes from the balls as opposed to your brain.
Not your brain.
No.
This is all related to the balls.
Fuck.
This. And then I said, well, what the fuck? Who's just going to give their fucking balls away besides people like Rob and I, if the price is right? Then through my stellar research.
Maybe it was maybe it was a straight guy who always wanted to be gay. And they just do a swap.
That's not how it worked.
Oh, okay.
I looked into it. They would take the testicles off of a dead man.
Oh,
So,
okay. Jeez.
we're very sorry about your grandpa.
Do you shoot blanks then?
I did read that Steinek's method was doomed to failure because the immune system rejects transplanted glands
Yeah.
and eventually is exposed as ineffective and often harmful.
So then you just lose your sack altogether.
Yeah, I got these new balls, but it's fucking up my wiener real bad.
You just have a dick and then 6 inches of taint,
Yeah.
then your ass crack.
I got these straight balls installed, and I got a blowjob from my husband last night. It still felt pretty good.
Can you imagine just like, I wonder where the fucking return policy is on dead balls.
Gotta be a warranty of some type.
Like, can you imagine standing in line at Walmart?
I would, they do that thing with dogs where they give them like silicone testicles when you neuter a dog, it kind of just like chills him out is what it's supposed to do.
Right.
But they say some people, advocates of dogs, say it makes them sad and depressed, which if I had my fucking balls cut off,
yeah,
it would
definitely.
affect me.
Yeah.
My wife would be like, will you please mow the grass? And I always assumed that I would even want to do something like that. And they give them these testicle transplants. They just give them like these silicone balls to put in there to take place of their old balls.
I mean, I think they're going to know. I'm sorry, but
Oh, I don't know. I think for me, if what they should do is take my balls out and then just like crumble up old issues of WWE magazine and put them inside my sack, that would be fine with me.
Yeah, or like an old Goosebumps.
Yeah, an old Goosebumps. Not any of that new shit.
No.
There were a lot of different medical professionals in the early 1900s that had strange and different views about homosexuality. Sigmund Freud, which he was a father of like modern psychology for the most part, in my opinion. He believed that people were born bisexual and went the direction that they would eventually go from conditioning. And I think that man. I know whenever we were in elementary school, and I might have talked about this before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but it's definitely a better idea than just saying it's a fucking choice. Because just like you said, you're going to say, I think before I rudely interrupted you, there's kids that we've known since they were really, really young that you knew were going to be gay when they grew up.
And he had a sister and a mom, and he didn't have a dad. Yeah. His mom treated him like a female, raised him like in a way that you would raise a girl. Not necessarily that there's a perfect way to raise a boy or raise a girl, but she treated him. She would do his nails. She would, let him do all the different things that usually moms would do with daughters. Like my dad used to take me fishing, and I feel like that's not necessarily specifically meant for men, but I feel like that's a good father-son bonding excursion.
Nick, get your dick out of that fish.
Yeah. I used to
Dad.
Whatever we were fishing for, I would do dances corresponding with the fish. I had a walleye dance and a catfish dance, and it used to piss him the fuck off, dude. I'd stand up and start doing it, and the boat would start rocking, and he would sit the fuck down. But he would kind of be laughing a little bit.
That goes to show you that no matter what straight things you do, your kids can still be gay.
They're still stupid. Yeah. Heard you just talk about sucking dad's dick all the time. But with this kid, he did all these things, and from kindergarten, I would say, I knew him, Dad, I think he likes me. I think he likes boys. I don't think he's really interested in girls.
Are we talking about? And I'm not going to say any names. Are we talking about the one who he was a cheerleader?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was.
Okay.
I think you're still friends with him on Facebook. I don't think I am.
Possibly.
DB Cooper. Maybe not. Oh, no, this is a different one.
Okay.
Yeah, completely different.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
So,
both of them.
Both of them. And I feel like it was a product of conditioning to a certain extent. I think you're kind of swayed in the way that the world wants you to be. And sometimes you have more influence from one direction than you have from the other, and that's kind of the way it helps you turn out. But I don't think that's necessarily if that's the way it was, then every male raised by a single mom would be fucking gay, and that's not the way it works. So I think there's a little bit of, like you said, a little bit of conditioning involved, but I think a lot of it as well is just what your heart loves, and that's fine. That's fine.
We're all people. Everybody just wants to be loved. Who fucking cares?
In some instances, there's no conditioning involved. In some instances, there's a lot of conditioning involved. I can say that and not feel bad about that. But here's this bitch. This is we're taking you through the rigors of all this. Melanie Klein was a pupil of another scientist that covered this shit. Her seminal book, The Psychoanalysis of Children, this is so fucking weird, dude, based on lectures given to the British Psychoanalytical Society in the 1920s, was published in 1932. Melanie Klein claimed that entry in the Oedipus complex is based on mastery of primitive anxiety from the oral and anal stages. Do you know what Oedipus complex is?
No idea.
So the Oedipus complex is where whenever you're a young boy, the Oedipus complex believes that there is a point in a young man's life, in a young boy's life, where he is subconsciously falling in love and lust with his mother. And you might be able to tell me all about, you've got 3 boys, dude. This is a little different for me, but I think it's mostly geared towards boys. But the Oedipus complex it says that at some point in a boy's childhood, he starts to subconsciously lust for and fall in love with his mother.
It's the classic Norman Bates story.
And he develops a hatred towards his father, who is ultimately his rival in this love story. And the Oedipus complex says that these boys, and sometimes girls, will eventually start to act out and show hatred towards the father because he feels like the dad is treading on his territory, which is the mother, obviously. Because the boy is subconsciously, he doesn't necessarily know what it feels like to lust after a woman. He doesn't know what love feels like because he's just a young boy.
Right.
But he starts to believe that, you know, this guy, my dad, is trying to take her away from me. And he subconsciously is lusting after his mother and loves his mother in a way that is more than a child should love their mother. And it's a really interesting
it is.
topic. It's really strange. But is like I said, and it goes back from the oral and anal stages, and I have no fucking clue what that means. If these tasks are not performed properly, developments in the oedipal stage will be unstable. Complete analysis of patients with such unstable developments would require uncovering these early concerns. The analysis of homosexuality required dealing with paranoid trends based on the oral stage. The psychoanalysis of children ends with the analysis of Mr. B, a gay man. All right. Melanie Klein claimed that she illustrated pathologies that enter into all forms of sexuality. A gay man idealizes, quote, the good penis of his partner
Okay.
to allay the fear of attack he feels due to having projected his paranoid hatred onto the imagined bad penis of his mother as an infant. She stated that Mr. B's homosexual behavior diminished after he overcame his need to adore, quote, the good penis of an idealized man. This was made possible by recovering his belief in the good mother and his ability to sexually gratify her with his good penis and plentiful semen.
What the fuck is what? I have no idea what any of that means.
If one of you are ace, I know we have qualified professionals that listen to this because people will write us like, I bet there's no fucking doctors to listen to this stupid fucking show, goddamn. And then someone will write us like, you dipshits, you're my hour escape every week. I'm far more intelligent. I am a fucking doctor. You're
penis, bad penis.
You're an idiot.
Penises are
so stupid.
Aren't they all bad?
Good penises?
Penises are ugly.
My penis is a nice guy.
Mine is too,
Every
but
time my wife talks to my penis, it props up and listens to her. Even when she's not talking to it, it props up and listens to her. So I would gratefully love for someone to explain that, or maybe that's something we can research a little more, but it's just so weird, man.
yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
And all this stuff I've read from above was European based. In the 1950s in the United States, there was a guy named Edmund Burglar. Edmund the Turd Burglar. He came up with a very controversial treatment referred to as blame the victim.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Turd Burglar claimed that if gay people wanted to change and the right therapeutic approach was taken, then they could be cured in 90% of cases. Burglar used confrontational therapy in which gay people were punished in order to make them aware of their masochism. Burglar openly violated professional ethics to achieve this, breaking patient confidentiality and discussing the cases of patients with other patients, bullying them, calling them liars, and telling them they were worthless. That's not nice.
It's just crazy that this is like there was a time when they think that it needs to be cured.
There was other professionals, medical professionals, just like today in today's medicine and this coronavirus stuff that's going on. There's going to be ways to treat this that are found. It's going to be trial and error. Some people are going to say, well, shove a fucking head of lettuce up their butt and they're going to recover from this. And I'm going to be the guy like, all right, put it in there. Get it running start because it's going to feel real good.
Do a big Rikishi stink face on it.
Yeah. And there's trial and errors. And there were medical professionals that latched onto what he was doing here, where these people would scream at these homosexual males and scream at them and tell them they are useless, they're pieces of shits, that they never amount to anything. And that's what they would do to try and convert these guys back to heterosexuality. They would just fucking scream at them and tell them they weren't worth shit.
So crazy.
Because conversion therapy is not a mainstream psychological treatment, there are no professional standards or guidelines for how it is conducted. Early treatments in the 1960s and 70s included aversion therapy such as shocking patients or giving them nausea-inducing drugs while showing them the same-sex erotica, according to a 2004 article in the British Medical Journal. Literally what they would do, and I think this is one of the Reddit stories I had. I told you about this earlier.
Crazy.
The second half of this episode is mostly just horror stories from gay aversion camps and conversion therapy camps. And it'll take the pads that you use to shock people with, and these conversion therapies, they will place these electrical pads on your testicles, and then they will force you to watch gay porn. And I know what you're thinking.
You don't have to force me, buddy.
Sign me up. Sign me the fuck up. And they force you to watch homosexual pornography.
That's just my kink.
And the gay men that speak of this say it was very... it wasn't good. It wasn't good porn at all. Like it was not good gay pornography.
It was just two bears fucking.
I don't know what it was. I don't know. It was just two guys rubbing each other's feet. I don't know what it was. That would be really hot to me. Especially if they had really fucking hairy toe knuckles like you and I. And whenever they started to get an erection, they would crank this machine up and shock the shit out of their ball sacks with these electric pads in an attempt to teach them that it wasn't okay to be turned on by homosexual pornography. Other methods included psychoanalysis or talk therapy, estrogen treatments to reduce libido, and essentially castration, and even electroconvulsive therapy in which an electric shock is used to induce a seizure with side effects such as memory loss.
You said that we were talking about going back to watching same-sex porn. I'm gonna say something that's really stupid, even for me when I was younger. So there was this time.
It's really stupid, even for me.
It's a good way to start a story. Yeah. There was this time where I was sitting there down in the dungeon of my parents' house and was cranking it out, watching porn. And I'm right where I need to be. I'm right in the danger zone. I'm like, okay,
It's coming.
It's coming. Unleash the goo. And right as that moment hit, right in that part of the movie, close up of nothing but a dick. And I was to the point of no return. So here I am. Here I am going full banana sandwich on myself. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gay. I swear.
That dick is so nasty. That dick is so nasty.
But then again, you're like, those are some good veins.
It's a good-looking vein on that dick. It's just the way I think everyone is like this. All males, but you get the urge to take care of yourself. And then it doesn't matter what you watch, as wholesome or as pure as it is, it could be a Victoria's Secret old woman's bra ad. No matter what it is, as soon as you're done, you're just like, I shouldn't have fucking did that.
That's so true.
Like
it's like post-masturbation regret.
You're on keto and you're staying on cheesecake, chocolate cake all by yourself. I shouldn't have fucking did that.
Especially if you're watching some real nasty shit. You're just like, you just look down, you're like, I am so ashamed right now.
I can't believe I tried that. Or you're just like, all right, as soon as I crank this bad boy out, I'm going to do all the dishes, and I'm going to scrub all the walls. And you do it, and you're like, I don't care if this fucking house burns to the ground with me inside of it.
That's why I don't make any big decisions unless I come. Like, oh, not let me sleep on it. Let me come on it.
I don't think I want to do anything ever again. I'm just going to let this cum dry to my leg. I like this lake I've made my belly button. My uncle told me that's Lake Marshmallow is what we call that whenever you get it in your belly button.
That's so gross.
It's Lake Marshmallow.
Ew.
He said, "Oh, look at that. We filled up Lake Marshmallow, didn't we?" You're nasty. You're so fucking nasty, dude.
This is the saltiest lake ever.
Where's the fucking baseball cards at now? Where's my new bike? Last time we filled up Lake Marshmallow, you promised me 4 new bikes and a motorcycle. Now here I am filling up Lake Marshmallow for baseball cards.
The last pack of baseball cards didn't even have the hard bubble gum in
You
it.
took the gum out of it.
Gum always tasted like ass.
Took the Griffey rookie card.
Oh, man, I had one of those.
Yeah. More recently, people who have been through conversion therapy report talk therapy that emphasizes pseudoscientific theories, such as the idea that an overbearing mother and a distant father make a child gay. In an April 2012 essay, the American prospect writer Gabriel Arana described his ex-gay therapy experience. His therapist blamed his parents for Arana's homosexuality and urged him to distance himself from his female best friends. Chaim Levin, one of the men suing Jonah for deceptive practices, says that he quit conversion therapy after his therapist had him strip down and touch himself to reconnect
Jesus.
with his masculinity.
Wow.
According to New York Times. Oh, man, that is fuck that guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but gay or straight, jerking off is jerking off. It's not going to make you one way or the other.
I'm Dr. Jonah. The way we're going to defeat this is you're going to get naked, and I'm going to watch you beat off. That's how we're going to turn you straight again.
Because that's the straightest thing in the world.
It is in my eyes. That's how...
We got to keep our socks on.
That's... Oh, yeah. If you keep your socks on, it's not a big deal.
No, not at all.
So now we have these horrible. So there was so much research that I could have gone even further into this. There's all of these gay aversion and conversion therapy camps. There's camps all over the fucking world now where you can send your kids to camp to try and convert them to being straight. And I don't think it's... Dude, we live in such a slippery fucking slope these days. I see people on the internet, moms that dress their 4 and 5-year-olds up like girls. You know, I think... and some people are like, they dress him up like he's gonna be a fucking gay man, gonna make him gay. And I think you gotta let your kids make their own decisions.
Definitely.
If your kid is right now, I have a 3-year-old. If she comes to me and says, "I want to play with dinosaurs," I'm not gonna be like, "No," because then you'll be a fucking lesbian. I give her dinosaurs and let her play with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And I don't think these kids are going. I don't think a lot of them are going to their parents and saying, "I want to wear panties," like a boy's. "I want to wear your panties, Mom." I don't think that's fucking happening. But these parents are doing it to their kids. And I feel like some of these parents are doing it just to go against the grain and just so they can put themselves in the limelight for something, just to be the center of attention. And you are completely fucking someone's life up for maybe this kid ultimately would be someone that would grow up and love someone of the same sex. Completely fine. But let him make that decision. Let him decide who he loves and what makes him happy. Whether it's a man, a woman, or both of them, or a furry. I know there's furries out there. There's people that dress like fucking Pokemons that fuck each other.
Right.
Me, being one of them, I have a Vulvasaurus costume that I'm very proud of, that I made for cosplay. And anytime I get around a rat titty and they see my Vulvasaurus costume, they are really just feeling hot down there. And I shun the parents that are doing this to their kids. Let your kids make your own fucking decisions.
Right.
Let them grow up just like our parents let us grow up and become the goddamn monsters that we are.
It's kind of like the same thing like the obvious racist person who says, "I have plenty of black friends." You know, they have none.
None. Yeah, exactly.
You're just trying to be cool.
Yeah. It's all right. You don't have to be cool to kick it here at the Bro High Pie.
Nah, man, we all fucking suck.
I ain't racist. I got color TV.
It's like, just quit pandering and let your kid be a fucking kid.
Let them do whatever,
Let 'em
man.
do what they're going to grow up and they're going to figure themselves
Let
out.
them fuck dudes. Let them fuck chicks. Let them fuck black guys. Let them fuck white guys.
Whatever
let them
floats their boat.
just...
Your job is to be there and keep them safe.
If my mom and dad saw what I do in the bedroom, they would be like, "Oh, fuck, he's fucked up." But it's not for them to care. When I was in high school, I came home and my parents had been gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
My mom went in my room to clean when she got home, and there were fucking condoms everywhere, Rob. Okay? And she said, I came home to get an apple before a football game, and she was crying. She said, I was cleaning around your bed. And I looked over at her, and I was in the fridge, and I was like, oh, shit. And I knew what she'd found.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she knew. I knew, but I don't think she knew. And I said, the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I'm still good friends with this guy. I said,
Ryan's okay.
no. I said, Charlie uses those to jack off. They were fucking loaded up condoms on my floor. And it wasn't. I didn't say,
You fucking threw Charlie under the bus.
I use this to jerk. So now, not only does my mom have the thought that I'm upstairs just running wild with all these women, I completely flip it fucking a 180. And I tell her, Charlie uses those to jerk off.
My friend comes over here and comes in condoms.
My buddy jerks off in my bed, Mom. And he won't throw them away, and I'm not touching them.
Oh, man.
And she immediately called. She's like, you don't have to lie to me. Because I had a girlfriend for a really long time.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, you don't have to lie to me. And I said, no, it's Charlie. It's lying.
He's got a problem, Mom. I'm telling you.
I'll bring him here, and I'll make him beat off in front of you, Mom. I'll make him fill one of these things
You
up.
want to compare the
I have him
loads?
fill one up for you. I have him fill one up for Dad. I have him fill one up for all my brothers. Nuzzles. He's not going to live much longer. I have him fill one up for Nuzzles. It doesn't matter. Those are not mine. I need his apple, and I'll be the fuck out of here. And I fucking broke my ankle that night during the game, too. It was all because Charlie jerked off in the condoms in my bed.
Fuck.
And he listens to this, so he's gonna be like, man, what the fuck, man? He's gonna call me like, you're a fucking dickhead, piece of shit.
Have you ever told him that before?
I probably have, dude. He's been with me through like the lowest points of my life. And my lows aren't like normal people's lows. Just like shit like, and he used to antagonize me. He would take things, he would mix up fucking shit, and he just would do horrible things to me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And we just went through a lot together. So for this, he couldn't get mad because he had me do a lot of bad shit.
Well, Charlie jerks off and they're just like stuck to the fucking ceiling and stuff.
Jesus. This first one. So we have some Reddit stories of people that have gone through conversion therapy and to aversion camps.
Mm-hmm.
This first one says, I had an ex that had to go through the camp. She wouldn't talk. Oh, okay, so they're women. They're gay women. She wouldn't talk about it much, or her family for that matter. All she ever said was that she graduated the camp, was straight for 6 months, till her mom found out she was lying. Her mom then threatened her with a knife,
Jeez.
and she ran out of her house at 16 with the clothes on her back. Her best friend's parents adopted her in. Poor thing had severe PTSD from the whole experience. Night terrors, screaming, sweating, crying. Certain things would set her off, like 1,000-yard stare set her off. One night, I tried to wake her from a particular bad night terror, and she punched me square in the jaw, which women don't punch that hard, so it's not that big of a deal. Fuck. Just kidding. You see that bitch's forehead at UFC? Women can punch
Joanna and Jacek? Yeah, her forehead was fucked.
Yeah. When she woke up, she started to cry and apologize. I also felt sorry for her and so helpless because there was nothing I could do other than listen and hold her when she needed it. Oh, and the next one here, it says, when I was 24, I was recruited to go to a year-long ministry in California where I lived with 35 other guys who were also trying to not be gay.
That's a dream right there.
Oh, my God.
So much dick.
We each got regular jobs, but otherwise lived a fundamentalist, almost cult-like existence. prayer groups, Bible studies, and seminars on how to be masculine. 3 months in, one of the leadership trainees had fallen in love with me and relentlessly pursued me. These are supposed to be the guys that are converting these guys to straight heterosexuality. So these teachers are straight, students are gay, and they're trying to convert them. And one of the instructors started to fall for him, and the instructor was supposed to be straight. We carried on a secret affair for months. He would beg me not to tell anyone because he'd lose his female fiancée and his job with the ministry.
Oof.
By August, I was near suicide and decided to leave on my own. He followed me, convinced me to travel across the country with him so that he could fulfill some sexual fantasies. Think nude oil wrestling in a motel in Tucumari, New Mexico.
Yes.
No way. And then he dumped me at a McDonald's outside Memphis, telling me that God could never bless us being together. It was all insane. It took me years and years to mostly get over it. Conversion therapy is evil.
Wow.
And I had no idea about these gay aversion camps.
No.
And conversion therapy. I had no idea this stuff existed, man. And I don't know. I don't remember how I came across it. I go a lot of weird places on the internet. My wife looks at my search history sometimes. She says, "What the fuck is this?" I go places. I like to learn things.
Incognito mode.
And I learn a lot of stuff through this. And it helps me be sympathetic towards people that have different situations than me.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being sent to something like this. I mean, imagine getting your balls swapped out with somebody else's, a dead person's. Like, I can't.
We know your daddy's dead, but we gotta give you his balls. They put your fucking grandpa's balls in your... These balls have been through 2 world wars.
We want you to think about the good dick, not the evil dick.
These are the best balls your grandma's ever sucked.
These balls wake up smoking a pack a day, drinking a gallon of coffee.
Oh, ugh. Black coffee, too.
Right.
And this is what makes me really sad, man. This is what really caught me. It says studies have found that LGBTQ youth attempt suicide more than 3 times more frequently than their heterosexual counterparts. So kids that are, going that direction with their love, they're 3 times more likely, they try and commit suicide 3 times more likely than the normal youth.
And think about it this way: growing up, as a young adult or teenager, that's already the most fucking complicated time in a person's life.
You feel like you're doing it all by yourself.
Yeah, you don't know who you are.
And the thing is,
people hate everybody. It's crazy.
I want my kids to know that they can reach out to me.
Right.
And I might not have necessarily gone through what you're going through, but I loved and lost that age. I went through the phase where, I didn't necessarily think my friends were as down with me as I thought they fucking were. And I went through phases where I thought I was the king shit. There was a lot of different phases in my life where, I tell, like, if my kid's going through it and she's like, I'm on top of the world, I'd be like, you need to fucking crank it back a little bit. You're not the fucking coolest. You're not the most awesome. You need to get on the same level as the people around you and just be in the moment and live and love, okay? And I want to be there for them whenever things feel like, you've gone through it and lost someone at that age where you're just like, I'm never going to recover from this. And I just, tell them like, hey, I've gone through it. You're going to fucking come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Being young, like being in middle school and high school, it literally is the best and worst part of your life.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
Some people go through a lot worse than others.
Kids are fucking awful.
They are. And they're only getting worse with social media and shit like that, man.
Yeah, they're awful. Just, if you are young and listen, just keep in mind, and this is super cliche, but you'll get through it. It gets
Absolutely.
better. It really does get better.
It does. In my instance, it doesn't. I still hate myself.
But then you realize being an adult fucking sucks too.
You're just going to get fat. You're going to get really fucking fat. A Canadian study estimated that the risk of suicide among LGBT youth is 14 times higher than for heterosexual youth. Among youth who attempted suicide, almost twice as many GLBT youth say they really hoped to die. of transgender people, between 30 to 45% report having attempted suicide.
That's almost half. That's
LGBT men have a higher risk of suicide than women, although women attempt suicide more frequently.
I think that's also across the board for suicide in general.
Yeah,
men have a higher
yeah, for sure,
suicide rate, and then what women attempt it more.
It's staggering me that there's people going through that, and it makes me want to hold them and just be like, look, I'm not gay, but I'll make out with you to make you feel better. I'm not good at it.
Yeah,
I got some food in my teeth.
I couldn't imagine just the day by day.
Yeah, dude, it's tough.
Shit that you have to go
really
through.
Fucking tough.
Right.
I'll let you take
next one.
Yeah, it's the one after that's really funny, but I'll let you take this one.
Okay, sure. This one says, my story isn't that bad, but this specific camp near us lists our hobbies and likes and such. They'd put up a picture of conventionally attractive dudes in the middle of an activity. My favorite thing I listed was drawing, and ask us how we felt about them. Excuse me. Gradually, they'd take away one small thing that we liked. For example, they'd take my pen, then my pencil, then notebook, and ask how we felt about the dudes again. Eventually, we sat in an empty room as they asked us how we felt. I think this was an attempt to make us associate seeing hot guys with losing everything we loved.
So fucked up.
But it was so horribly done that I can't imagine whoever thought that was over the age of 10.
That's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
They're doing this to youth.
That makes no sense. It's so stupid.
Oh, this one's good. I remember all too well the moment I realized this was going to be a long, difficult summer for me. On arrival, we were given extensive forms to fill out, which goes along with many of the stories that there's like a pre-questionnaire. They had questions about hobbies, likes, dislikes, and all that kind of thing. Least favorite smell was an interesting question on the form, my 17-year-old self thought, and on the second or third day I was given some, in hindsight, incredibly laughable gay erotica, probably a strong word, and allowed to return to my room. Or at least what you would expect a particularly naive grandparent in the 1990s to give you anyway. As soon as I returned to my room, I heard some commotion outside the door, and then the pungent smell of curry slowly swept into my room. Waves of the smell came through periodically over 3 hours. This was the smell I had listed on the form, and this was their attempt of making me straight by associating attractive men with the smell of curry.
You're just going to hate anybody that's gay and last name's Patel.
I was in there jerking my gherkin, and it smelled like somebody's making goddamn Indian food. You ever smelled curry before, dude?
I don't like the smell of Indian food, but I fucking love it.
It tastes... She made me something with curry what was it? She made me something with curry and cabbage a few weeks ago, and I was completely prepared for my innards to fall out.
Right.
I was going to die, and I was really excited because I've only had curry once before, and I remember I was like, I think it was pretty good. And she was making it, and the second she put the curry in the skillet, I was like, what the fuck died in here?
It's just such a strong, overpowering. It's kind of like the way garlic is, like such an overpowering smell.
It smells like that creamy patch underneath a homeless man's scrotum. That spot where you get the cheese, where you harvest the cheese from.
Right.
And just don't want anything to do with curry, man. Oh, God.
I do love me some Indian food, though.
It tastes wonderful.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, does it fucking stink while it's...
It does smell bad.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right, take this next one.
Yeah, it wasn't a camp, but I was raised by Scientologists. That's a fucking clan right there. And they have a sort of conversion therapy they use to cure all aberrations. Is that right? Aberrations? Aberrations?
Yeah, sure. Let's fucking
like asthma and homosexuality. It's funny since L. Ron Hubbard doesn't actually say much about homosexuality. The only thing my seniors could show me said that homosexuals were constantly stuck in the same tone on the tone scale, which is basically a chart of human emotions that places failure, apathy, and body death as low emotions, and happiness, creativity, and total knowingness. His word, not mine. as high emotions. He believed all homosexuals were stuck at 1.1 on the tone scale. The number for covert hostility, which means that all gay people are supposedly full of secret evil intentions.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's stupid. And look at L. Ron Hubbard, though. That was a bad place to be on the tone scale, and he believed that it was based on false purposes that you were holding on to. I won't go too off topic with all the Scientology background, but L. Ron Hubbard made up a lot of words, and it's always hard to talk about without some translating. Yeah, he's a fucking
I think
nut job.
It still goes on here.
Yeah. Oh, this is still it?
Yeah.
So there's this process called false purpose rundown that is very expensive to perceive, but you are also required to do it if they find out you have this aberrant behavior. I worked as an auditor in training at local org, which is what they call the churches, from ages 11 up until I was 15 and performed 2 of these rundowns for 2 different gay men. The process is a mix of forced confessionals, interrogations, a lot of repetitive hypnotic questions, and some other nonsense. It was heartbreaking both times because these men genuinely wanted to change. They would sit in my office crying and begging for the realization that they would finally make them straight. Eventually, a realization would come, but nobody was cured, just more repressed, which is exactly what that's going to do. Both men got in trouble later for their aberrant behavior, and I got in trouble for not actually curing them.
It keeps going.
So, being a gay teen at the time, I did not have a lot of faith in the process, but still felt like I was a distinguishing pervert.
Disgusting pervert.
Or disgusting, sorry, not distinguished. Hello there.
I'm a distinguished pervert.
Excuse me.
My dick is made of a golden pigtail.
I spent nights doing the Scientology version of praying the gay away.
I've tried it. It doesn't work.
Scientology states that if you believe something with total certainty, you will just believe it into existence. Scientologists also believe that they are the reason the Berlin Wall fell. So if we can make a wall fall, surely we can change our orientation, right? Well, it didn't work.
Fucking retarded.
But because of a medical condition and some anonymous abuse concerns from neighbors, I was allowed to leave. I was allowed to leave staff, and I got to be a normal 15-year-old with a second-grade education and no connection to anyone in the real world. God. So I decided to come out to my dad like a complete idiot, and he tried to take me to the org so that they could fix me. I ran away and lived at our library for a few weeks, but I was worried about my mom and my survival skills were terrible. I went back home, and he took me to the org. I was usually a very, very obedient kid, but not being wholly in the church gave me a little confidence that there was a world outside, and I did a lot of secret reading about sexuality at the library, which wasn't allowed. The attempt to convert me wasn't successful, and I tried to stop engaging with them. They are tenacious, to say the least, so it wasn't actually my decision, and the process was pretty devastating. On one hand, my feelings felt valid, but I had been so thoroughly indoctrinated that it was hard to understand what was right. They were trying to groom me to get me back on staff since I'd already done so much training, and they thought this little aberration would be an easy fix. My dad's church was also being much kinder than my old one since I wasn't on staff there, and that was very confusing to me. But one day, 3 men showed up to my house. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I'll let you in.
Angry that I was taking too long and bogging down the process. They yelled at me on my lawn for a while. At one point, I got into a yelling match, my first in my life. Looking back, I'm amazed I talked back to them. The one man did most of the talking and asked me why I didn't just decide to be straight. Of course, it's that fucking easy, right? I asked him if he could just decide to be gay if he wanted, and he said he could. Okay. That's how it works,
He was
right?
already gay for sure.
Right, exactly.
Well, of course I can do that.
Give me a dick right now.
Yeah.
All of my learning at the library taught me that this man was probably bi, and that gave me an indescribable feeling. For the first time, I realized I knew something that the church didn't, and I probably knew even more things, and there was even more to learn in the world outside of the church. I ran away from the 3 men and hid at a park like some kind of lizard. Jeez. Shortly after this, my dad was forced to excommunicate my mom, who was relatively bedridden and suffered from a lot of undiagnosed physical and mental disorders. Sometimes she would walk outside naked or giggity or hit her head against the wall repeatedly. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, I like those.
Yeah. She had 30 days to leave the house. This was great timing, so I bought an old car with some money I'd saved and drove her to a new city in a different state. We started life again, homeless in a strange place, but free. This was all 11 years ago. I live with my partner now and have a happy, boring life. We have a dog and friends and so many books. My mom is now mentally and physically healthy and completely self-sufficient. I forgot about the journey it took to get there or to get here, but I'm so grateful for the life I have.
Sounds wonderful.
Happy ending.
Very happy ending. My contact shifted on me there, and I think I'm about to die.
My mouth was getting dry halfway through there. So
there was one story I read that there was a guy. It was kind of these stories of people coming out after therapy and stuff, or coming out and then going to therapy. And there was one guy, he gave a story about how he came out, and then his mom sent him to therapy, but then his dad got him out because they lived it was separate households.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad kind of took him in as they didn't really know each other at that point. But his dad got him out of the therapy, and he started to live with his dad. It was his dad's only son. He didn't know really how to handle his son coming out. But he said he knew the second his dad had kind of been like, okay, it was about a year after him being with him. It was his birthday, and he went to go open up his birthday present from his dad. And his dad, the dude was like 13 or 14. And he opened up the present, and his dad bought him Disney princess blankets.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, it was like the weight of the entire world. It's like my dad had no idea. He had no fucking clue what he was doing. But it was at that instant I knew that my dad was cool with however I wanted to kick it. He was fine with it because he got me this Disney princess blankets.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like what people ask me all the time. Well, not necessarily ask me, but we've had this conversation before where
if one of your sons are gay.
Yeah. If one of my sons are gay, like what I would do, because the person who asked me this would have been way harder about it than me, and I'm like, you know what? As long as they're healthy,
happy,
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna back them no matter what. They're my kids.
Yeah,
I'm gonna love them regardless what happens.
Right.
I'm gonna be, the only downside of that would be having to deal with what other asshole kids say.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
And do to your child, and that's the part that I wouldn't look forward to.
Just as long as they don't come home and like join the Jehovah Witness or some stupid shit like that.
Right.
Don't tell them that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So that's why you treat your kid or you raise your kids to not be assholes.
For sure.
And, everybody will be happy. Right.
Many of the young men and boys that are sent to straightening camps are felt especially stigmatized and judged by their father. This was the case for one unnamed member who was determined to reprogram himself because his own father didn't view him as a normal kid. Most people would be equally hurt by their parents' decision to send them to a gay conversion camp, but feeling like a disappointment in the eyes of your main male role model can have a significant impact on some young boys. Concerned so much about earning his father's approval, one boy agreed to undergo a form of electroshock torture which involved taping electrical pads to his testicles while viewing gay pornography. If the young man got an erection from watching the video, he would get his manhood electrocuted. The lengths this boy went to just to win his dad's respect is heartbreaking and reveals just how brainwashed camp members can become. Gay conversion camps are hell-bent on destroying self-worth by any means. Why do people fucking bother me? Gay conversion camps are hell-bent on destroying self-worth by any means necessary. So it's no surprise to learn that for some, suicide can seem like the only way out. This was the tragic outcome for one young girl who at the age of 17 decided to end her own life after camp counselors did what they do best by convincing her that she didn't deserve to be loved. According to her cousin, the young girl had long pleaded with her parents to take her back home since she was hopelessly unhappy. Unfortunately for parents, were adamant that she saw the gay therapy program through to the end. By then, of course, it was too late. Her suicide letter pointed the blame towards her parents, saying, quote, "Mom, Dad, I love you despite how misguided you are. You taught me how to hate and feel disgusted with myself rather than love myself." End quote. Oh,
that's
God.
heartbreaking.
These are just like horror stories from gay conversion camps.
It really is.
In the words of one gay conversion camp survivor, simply known as TC, conversion therapy made him and others feel like they were no longer people at the end of the program. At the age of 15 in 2012, TC was forced by his parents to receive conversion treatment. This form of treatment wasn't simply designed to change his sexual orientation. However, it was to kill any trace of his former self and start afresh. TC's conversion therapy consists of two major steps: to break his self-worth using torture methods and to rebuild a new character with the teachings of Jesus. The initial step, lasting 6 months, involves shock therapy and physical abuse with sessions lasting for 1 to 3 hours at a time. By the second step, members had become numb, blank shells ready for the program to rebuild with a different way of eating, talking, and thinking. TC survived his horrific experience, but saw many friends take their own lives because of the inhumane system. Jesus Christ, man.
That's crazy.
When most of us think of exorcisms, we can't help but picture spinning heads and possessed girl and projectile vomiting. The reality, however, can simply involve hours of intense prayer and repentance for the so-called sin of being born homosexual. But this doesn't make the experience any less traumatic for the individual. Exorcisms as gay conversion therapy can consist of shaming techniques to expose the unnatural demons within people. That is what Peterson Toscano had discovered. Toscano was raised as a devout Christian. Problems arose when his faith stood in the way of his true sexual orientation. Well, Catholic priests are fucking gay, but that's beside the point. Different kind of gay. Fearful about being a gay teenager at a time when gay was synonymous with AIDS, Toscano's faith convinced him that he needed fixing. One area of his exorcism-like treatment forced him to record every homosexual encounter he had ever had and share the most embarrassing one with his family. Toscano suffered from a long period of depression as a result of his treatment, which did nothing to suppress his true nature. Oh, man, dude.
It's also sad.
It is very sad. 29-year-old Samuel Brenton is truly an inspiration to LGBT community. As a boy, Brenton was physically abused by his father for revealing he had feelings for another boy. Soon after this, his mother sent him off to be treated with gay aversion therapy, the methods of which belong in a horror movie. Throughout his time in therapy, Brenton was made to believe that all gay people have AIDS and that all other gay people had been killed by the government and that he would be next. In addition to the brainwashing came the physical and emotional torture that continues to plague him in his adulthood. Brenton was made to associate gay sex and feelings of arousal with extreme pain using methods which included electrocution, being burnt with hot copper coils, and being frozen with ice. Brenton attempted suicide 5 times and still experiences pain when his current boyfriend shows him any affection. Admirably, Sam now speaks about his hellish ordeal around the world as a campaigner for LGBT rights. The fact that fucking people are having to go through this shit because someone thinks that they don't love who they're supposed to love is the biggest fucking sham in the entire world. It's sickening. Their tolerance for this community has grown small strides since I've been alive. Mm-hmm. And I hope within the immediate future, we can be to a point where people just don't have to fucking go through this. Or maybe make people that are what we call normal have to go through this so they can see. And it's not just homosexuals, it's interracial couples.
Right.
It's people, young dudes marrying old women or young women marrying old guys. It's just like, why do I have to answer to anyone about who I love? The only pedophiles, cut their fucking heads off.
Put the electrocute their balls.
Kill them.
Yeah, just castrate them.
Castrate them, motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's no fixing that.
It's just sad, man. It really is sad.
It really is. You're just trying to do, you're trying to live your life, love who you want to love, and be happy and not judged by it or not fucking burnt with copper coils. And it's crazy.
Exactly. And the saddest part was obviously the suicide amongst the youth. And I know we have young people that find us somehow. We've had like 12-year-olds write us and say, "Hey, I'm sneaking behind my parents' back to write you right now," which is one of the coolest fucking things ever.
Right.
But if you are going through something like this, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255. And there's someone that's always going to answer for you. But I'm pretty sure that most people have someone in their life that will answer that isn't necessarily linked to this hotline. Just, that's why a lot of guys I know that are kind of socially awkward and don't really go out and do their thing, they've really found solace and comfort in the gaming community because these dudes just, they bond together. They set up and play video games all night long. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't sound like a bad gig. I would probably fuck another dude if I could just like, let's hang out, find a bro that wants to do everything just like me. He wants to play video games, play guitar.
Get his dick sucked.
And at the end of the night, just be like, dude, I'd really like to have a fucking blowjob. And he'd be like, I know, man. We just got done playing Call of Duty all night long. There's nothing better than just fucking putting on a good pair of wool socks and fucking the shit out of each other. I like there to be so much friction underneath my socks when I'm fucking having sex. God. Usually when I'm pushing on my socks, I can start a fire. Like a fucking brush fire. Nothing like having your dick sucked by some dude while you play Call of Duty.
That sounds like a good time to me.
Or your cousin.
Gonna fuck up my KD ratio, that's all right.
Getting your dick sucked by your cousin while you play Fortnite.
Minecraft.
This family tree ain't forking no more, bitch. I'm going straight up this motherfucker. All right, gay aversion therapy. What a weird taboo topic. But I feel like it was good. I feel like it was good. So don't be afraid to love who you want to love. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Because Rob and I, we're not afraid to be. We're two fucking fucked up dudes.
Right.
Completely off the rails. Completely odd. But we're just like all of you.
Tell another dude you love him today.
Call a gay man and tell him you love him. And then when he's like,
or if you're a female, yeah, tell another girl you love her. It's all good.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate.
Pick it up and put it down.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
You know what? Because I love you.
He does love you. And this is the Brohio Podcast signing off from the coronavirus. We're not locked down. You can't hold us down.
Never.
Coronavirus.
Nope.
My corona.
Thank you guys. Love you.